One of the questions that you often hear is how careful are federal government officials at any level, about spending taxpayers' money and saving money. And I'm very proud of the fact that I saved the U.S. taxpayers $1 million. Here's how it worked. In Phnom Penh, while I was U.S. ambassador to Cambodia between 1996 and 1999, and we were confronting this threat of terrorism, the truck bombs that were blowing up embassies in Africa could easily be brought and driven right up to my embassy in the capital city of Cambodia, because we had a compound that was on busy streets. There were a few houses we built a wall around, but we didn't have any setback. That is, the distance from where cars or trucks would be. You really need several hundred feet so that if someone does come with a truck bomb or some type of car bomb to blow up the embassy, as happened in Oklahoma City or happened in Nairobi or in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and buildings can be taken apart and dozens of people killed, as happened in Lebanon in 1983. So as these threats were perceived, and we knew that my embassy, which had been judged to be the most vulnerable and exposed embassy in the world, that one of the ways that we could get the building to be safe is to close down streets. So we went to the government and got them to close down streets. But another was that there was a gas station right next to the embassy. And with all the gasoline that could be incorporated in with a bomb, it could exponentially increase the blast. So we were really anxious to get the gas station closed down. And one way of doing that was for us to lease it from the owners and to drain the gas tanks and get rid of any combustible and flammable materials. So my administrative officer went to the owner, and who said he was willing to close down the gas station, lease it to us as it were, but it would be $1.5 million to do that, over all paid up all up front, and which would cover us for several years. So when I heard that figure, it was a big number, and going back to Washington, I was getting resistance because it was a lot of money. And so we were faced with this prospect of being left there with the gas station, with gas in the tanks. So I started calling people in the government and explaining the situation. And one of the officials in the government, in the Cambodian People's Party, a man named Sokan, who I had been particularly helpful to, and I'd been helpful to the Prime Minister, I explained the situation, and he called me back and he said, just go and talk to the owner again. So we arranged to take the owner out to dinner at a Chinese restaurant. He was a Chinese Cambodian. And my deputy, Carol Rodley, who spoke Khmer, came along. He brought an interpreter and kind of his accountant with a calculator. And we had dinner and several courses of nice Chinese food. And I was explaining to him the situation and what we wanted to do, and how important it would be for us to be able to lease the gas station, drain the tanks to keep our people safe. So we got to the end of the meal, and I had been told that when you do a business deal in Cambodia, in Asia, in China, it's you shake hands, that's it. That's the deal. Everyone's word. Of course, later it'll be put on paper, but you shake hands, that's it. So I'm explaining things to him, saying I very much hope we'd be able to come to a price that would be something that would fit with what the U.S. government could afford. And he turns to his assistant with the calculator, and he punches in some numbers, and he comes back and said, well, probably we can do all this for the same number of years we've been talking about, for about $250,000. So I reached across the table, I shook his hand, and with that handshake, I saved the American taxpayers $1 million in the cost of leasing the gas station, and at the same time keeping all of my employees and staff safe, made them safer in case there would be any attempt to blow up our embassy.